All right, let's go ahead and get started. Bye, kids. Bye, kids. Bye, kids. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, Bobby Caldwell. First of all, I want to welcome you guys in to the first installment of Tuesday Night Live with 4142. We're going to do this session, this particular topic, for about 4 sessions, and then we'll break, and then we'll pick up another topic. Before I get started, I want to first say happy 90th birthday to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a very significant figure in all of history, not just Black history, not just American history, but all of history. Also, I'd like to say happy 111th year of service to all of the sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Now, let's go ahead and get in. Again, I don't want to prolong the time, but if you saw, I almost burned my finger with this match because tonight's topic is beating burnout.
You better send that belated shout out to the devil.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So per my wife, I have to give, even though I gave her a shout out on all of Facebook, but to my wife, who is my favorite Delta, and to all of the sisters of Delta Sigma Theta, happy belated Founders Day. And just for safekeeping, my mother, Betty Brown, is my favorite AKA. All right. We're talking about beating burnout tonight. It's a very serious topic, very important topic, not just to the people that I know, but to me, because I've experienced it before. If you don't know anything about me, there was a period in my life where I did 6.5 years of full-time ministry, as well as being an educator. And I've always been an educator. I'm an educator now. And so there are days when I'm tired, lethargic, even feel lazy and guilty feeling that way. And I know I'm not the only one that's experienced burnout. And I see you, coach of the Little League team, who's trying to help young men and young women to develop into not only good athletes, but good people. And you spend your time volunteering hours in and hours out. I see you educators, principals, teachers, counselors, social workers. I see you. I'm one of you. And I know what it's like to work tirelessly day in and day out in what feels like a thankless job, because the truth of the matter is, for educators, we know that they can't pay us what we're really worth. Even though I wish they just, hey, give it a shot. Let's get a pay increase. I see you, preacher, who works tirelessly with their congregation to be a good shepherd to the flock. Not only do you preach and you teach Bible study, but you visit the sick, you bury family members, you christen babies, and we're not even talking about the preparation that goes into all of what you do. And that can be tiring when you're visiting sick at the hospital and praying for people over the phone or in person. I see you. I see you, accountant, especially in this season as we get ready for tax season, and you're trying to help these people, especially people like me, to prepare their statements so that they don't pay any more to the government than we already have, or to help them get their refund check faster, or whatever it is. I see you, welder, who's helping to continue to build infrastructure throughout the cities and the towns in this nation. And you work 10 and 12 and 15 hours days to try and make highways safe. I see you, postal worker, who's making sure that we get our mail, and UPS and the FedEx people who are trying to make sure we get our packages based on what you promise and when we get them. I see you moms, I see you dads, I see you grandmothers. I see that every day. We're trying with the best that we have to be functional people. And the truth of the matter is, we get physically tired, we get mentally tired, we get emotionally tired, we get spiritually tired. We lose our motivation, we lose our energy, we lose our vigor, we lose our drive, and we experience real burnout, to where we look at our matches and what once was a flame is nothing more than a crumpled up piece of wood that has no flame on it and is really not worth anything. And I know that's not how we really want our lives to be and how we envision our lives to turn out, but we spend a lot of time giving away and we look up and we're in depression, we're overeating, we're not sleeping well. All of these things, are physical manifestations of what is just good old-fashioned burnout, all the way to anxiety. We got to go see somebody or take some real medicine because we're struggling just to keep up and not lose pace and not fall out or not get sick to where we can't do anything. And we try and do it all. We chase our kids over practice. We're chasing kids in the building. We're dealing with co-workers that we don't get along with whom we don't see eye to eye. Or we're dealing with the boss who's not too favorable at times, who's probably experiencing the same thing. And we're trying to stay afloat. And the question on the table for not just tonight, but for these series is, well, one, can we beat burnout? And I believe the answer to that is yes. Now, the second critical question is, how do we do it? Now, let me make a disclaimer here that I'm not saying this is the foolproof way or this is the only way to beat burnout. What I want to give you is some stuff that has worked in my life as I've been a person that has tried to be in 10 places at the same time for 10 different people and 10 different reasons that have actually worked for me. And even with the people that I've spent time with in coaching or in counseling, where I've given them some of the very same tools and it's helped them as well. And so we're going to try and tackle one tonight. And then what I like to do is at the end, if you have questions or comments, then feel free to dive in. Keeping the flame alive is not so much about how big the flame is, but it's keeping the flame lit. And I don't mean that in the term of, being live and crunk and whatever, lit is the new thing. But keeping the flame alive, keeping it burning. Now, know this already about me. There are going to be moments when I talk to you that you're going to get some scripture thrown in there, but I'm not trying to shove my Christianity down your throat. I am just trying to help you from my experience of what I've experienced with other people. But I was reading the book of Leviticus the other day, and I found a very obscure part in there. I think it's in chapter 24, where Moses has been given the command to tell the priest that they need to keep the lamp burning at all times. And they need people to bring them fresh, clean, pressed oil in order to keep the lamp burning at all times while they're doing their work in the temple. Well, I asked the question, well, why does there need to be oil always in the lamp to keep the lamp burning? Well, I think it's quite simple, so they don't have to do their work in the dark. And that's kind of what dealing with burnout is we're trying to function in our worlds and function in our lives and with our families and with our friends and with our co-workers, and we're burned out. We are trying to serve in the dark, and it's very hard. You can make some very critical mistakes while in the dark. But what is tonight, for tonight's session, one thing that we can do immediately, to start the process of beating burnout? What can we do? Well, here's the first thing that I'd like to present to you. Let's run back as fast as possible to our why. What is the reason we're doing what we're doing? Why did we start it in the first place? Why are we welders? Why are we educators? Why are we principals? Why are we preachers? Why are we accountants? Why do we try and help kids who never read a note? Why are we trying to help them learn how to sing? Going back to the why is so critical. I believe in every turning point in our lives when the miracles begin to happen that we have a level of personal responsibility. If we're looking at real change happening, we have a level of personal responsibility. And so before we reach out to anybody else to give us fuel for our flame or to add oil to our lights or give us more wood to keep the flame burning, we need to look into ourselves and rediscover or discover all brand new. Why are we doing what we're doing? What's our motivation? How strong is our reason for us to keep going? Because if we can go back to our reasoning, to our why, I believe that will give us just a little more oil, a little more wood to keep the flame lit so that we don't have to serve in the darkness. It reminds me of a movie. One of the movies I love is Men of Honor with Cuba Gooding Jr. and I want to say it's Robert De Niro. And Cuba Gooding Jr. is playing a character by the name of Carl Bashir, who wants to be a Navy diver. in segregated America and a segregated military. And they're integrating the military finally, and he gets an opportunity to train as a Navy diver, and it's very hard. And he gets to the end of his training, and he's about to take the test, and he's one of the best in the training class. And he encounters his superior officer, played by Robert De Niro, and he is pressing hard to become this Navy diver. He studied extra hard. He's done double the work as some of the other training guys. And the commanding officer comes in and says, I want to know why you're trying so hard. Why are you putting up with the derogatory language? Why are you putting up with the mistreatment from your training mates as well as superior officers? Why are you doing this so hard? What happened that made you want to try so hard? What is your why? And he looked at a picture of his dad. And Robert De Niro, the character Robert De Niro plays, said, what did he tell you that makes you try so hard? And he said, be the best. Be the best. 3 words. Very simple, but his why was the voice of his father in his ear throughout the entire training period saying, be the best. Be the best. That was his why. His dad's voice in his ear was his why, and it was strong enough to make him push through when he was being mistreated, when he was called out of his name, when they almost tried to drown him. All kinds of things happened to Carl Bashir, and his motivation, his strength was, be the best. Now, I'm not sure what your why is, but your why has to be extremely strong to push past the days when you're low on fuel. Your why has to be so strong that you can look in the face of burnout and say, not today. I'm not going to burn out. I'm not going to fall out. I'm not going to pass out. I'm going to keep pushing. Your why has to be so strong that whatever obstacle comes in your way, you're willing to climb over it, run through it, run around it, push it out of the way, do whatever is necessary because your why is that strong. And it has to be strong enough to make you push on through. Your why has to be strong. Well, Jason, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Well, here it is in short. And again, I love the Bible. So again, I'm not trying to push my Christianity on you. I love that book. I'm a Christian. So you don't have to agree with it, but let's take the principle. Jesus tells a parable in the book of Matthew in chapter 25 about a leader of a house, a master, who goes away on a long trip. But before he goes, he gives his servants certain amounts of money. One servant he gives what the Bible calls 5 talents. This is just an exorbitant amount of money. And then one servant he gives 4, and one servant he gives 1. And he gives them that much money based on what they're able to handle. And he doesn't tell them when he's coming back, but he does say, when he comes back, I'm going to call into account everything that I gave you. So, at some point, the master comes back from his long trip, and he calls his servants in and starts to ask them, what'd you do with what I gave you? So the servant that got 5, he said, Master, you gave me 5. Here's 10 back. And the master turns to him and says, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Come higher, I'll make you ruler over many. Let's go party. That's the JB paraphrase version. Come into my joy. That's what he says. Then the one that had 4 came on in. He said, Master, you gave me 4, but I'm giving back to you 8. And the master says the same thing to him that he says to the first servant. Well done. 2 words. Great job. You've been faithful over a few things. Come higher, I'll make you ruler over many. And then there's the one, the last servant who was given 1. He said, Master, I knew you are a hard man. I know you sow where you don't reap. I know you can gather where you don't plant. In other words, you can get money where you don't have to get money. You can get it from wherever you want to because you're just that powerful. And because of that, I was afraid of losing or mishandling what it is that you gave me. So I put it in the ground. And here's that one that you gave me. And you know what he said to that servant? He called him wicked and lazy, and he cast him out. And so as I looked at that, I said, well, I definitely don't want to be the last servant who's called wicked and lazy because I wasn't courageous enough to do something with what God had given me. I want to be like the first or the second one. Because really, all I'm doing in my life, and I discovered this years ago, that as a believer, all I want to do with my life is when I see God face to face, I want him to say, well done. Well done with what? with what you gave me. God has given all of us something, some kind of gift, some kind of purpose in life. And one day we're going to all be called into account. At least that's what I believe for my life. And so my motivation, my big why, my big push on why I'm trying to be a good husband and a good father and a good youth developer and a good mentor and a good counselor and anything else that I'm involved in, a good friend, a good cousin, a good brother, is because all of that has been given to me by God. And when I see him face to face, I want him to say to me 2 words: well done. That's it. That's my big why. That's why I lose sleep at night. That's why I get up and go to work in the morning and try and help kids where people say that are not salvageable. That's my why. And that is enough on days when I don't have the juice to keep me going. That is enough on days when I didn't sleep all night to get me up in the morning to keep me going. The fact that God may look me in the face and say, man, you did a good job. Well done. 2 simple words, come party with me, is enough for me to say, let me go try this again. That kid that I didn't connect with, I need to go high five him. I need to go see him. That parent that I need to connect with, I need to call them and see how they're doing and how their son is doing. That's my big why. So I ask you tonight, as we get ready to shut down and I kind of open it up, what's your why? And is it strong enough to push past the times when your fuel is low? When it doesn't seem like you have wood? And when it doesn't seem like you have enough oil? What's your reason? Is it the voice of your dad that's pushing you to say do the best or be the best? Is it your children who you're trying to build a legacy for that are looking up to you and watching your every move? Is it your mother who's maybe gone to be with the Lord, who had big dreams for you and you're still pushing? Is it the fact that you want somebody to call you doctor and that's why you're still working on your degree? What is your why? I challenge you tonight. Go write it down. Put it on your mirror. Put it somewhere where you can see it. Look at it again. Challenge yourself. Is that why big enough? And am I doing what connects to my why? Because that may need to change as well. Look, it's 2019 and everybody's talking about change. One of the things we need to do is take care of ourselves. And the first thing is we got to beat this burnout, guys. Because if you don't take care of it, it can be really, really dangerous to your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. And that's all I have for tonight. Again, I told you I wasn't going to keep you long. What I do want to do is make sure that you know how to contact me. I'm easy to find. I'm on Facebook. My name hasn't changed. If you have my phone number, my number hasn't changed in, I don't know, since before I got married, I guess. I don't know. You can also go by my website, www.4142.com. It's actually spelled out 4142. Make sure you know how to spell 4. It's F-O-U-R, but 40 is F-O-R-T-Y. And so a lot of people get that crossed up. And that's where you can find me if you want to use my services, whether it's coaching or speaking or mentoring or anything like that. Please go by and hit the contact page and hit me up. I'm here to serve. I'm ready to help you, but I'll tell you my real focus. My focus is kids and anybody who serves them. And the funny thing is that's probably most of y'all because you have children or you work in ministry or you're a teacher or you're an educator or you're a teen mom like Tasha White, all of that right there. But I want to push you again. Go down and write down your why. If you want my number, you're going to have to DM me just in case. I've been getting a lot of robocalls, so if I don't see the number, I'm probably not going to answer it. Jana, I want to give you a shout out. She says one of the things that helps her deal with burnout is meditation, and she said that her motivation is her kids. I think that's a great why, Jana. And by the way, you know I love your kids because they're my cousins, and I love them. And it's the funny thing. You have to know Jana to appreciate this because when I introduce her as my cousin, you ought to see the faces on some people, but she is my cousin. All right, Jana, and I love you. If you want to shout out, you have a question or you have a comment, I have a few more minutes on here. Feel free to come on in. Chris Jackson, I see you. My main man. I see you, man. If you have any questions or comments, feel free. I'll give a couple of minutes to chime in as we get ready to wrap this up. We have spent great time together. And I have us at about 8:24, which means we went for just about 20 total minutes. Anybody else have anything they want to chime in? Any questions or any comments on how you feel about tonight's topic? Anybody want to share their why? I'd like to see the why. I saw Janice's why. She has her kids. Would anybody else like to share their why or their reason that they believe is strong enough to get them past burnout? And by the way, if you're just coming in, Derek Braxton, I see you. And Kim Landry, I see you. Purvis Hall, the answer to that is no. So you're going to have to go back and watch. So if you just got in, of course, you'll be able to go back and get to it. Jana says, do I have any scripture that helps in terms of developing your purpose, Jana? Or how you recharge? I get you. One of my favorite scriptures, that's a go-to for me, and I believe everybody ought to have a life scripture. One of my favorite scriptures, I'll give you two real quick. Lamentations 3:22 and 23 is of the Lord's mercy that we have not been consumed. Great is thy faithfulness. That one there is a strong one for me. I also like going to Psalm 24 or anything that talks about the secret place. I believe also that it's in the secret places that's outside of the face of people where God does some rewarding, even in the secret place. And he says, if meet me in the secret place and I'll reward you openly. But I like spending time in the secret place. So Psalm 24 talks about, in the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. And I like that. So those are the go-tos for me. And all of Romans chapter 8, Jana, goes for me. My cousin, Tasha White, the kids I educate, absolutely. We're cut from the same cloth, Tasha White, the kids that we have in our own house, and of course the kids that we call our kids that are not our biological kids, but the ones that we see every day, the lives that we're trying to change. I'm with you, Natasha White. I see you got one BAM in the house, Kim Landry. Let's give it a couple of more minutes here, and then we're going to sign off. And I love that you guys are here. Jan, I hope that helped, and anybody else that had any questions like that. And again, I'm not the one that promotes that I have the exact answers. I'm just telling you what's helped me. Oh, and just so you know, Purvis, that Tasha, the one that's talking to you, I would tell you the story about what happened at the wedding, but that didn't go well. What's in the cup? Come by and find out, Purvis Hall. Yeah, it's water. I'm not going to turn it over because it's going to spill. Thank you, Purvis. I love you too, man. Well, I'm going to sign out here. I'll be... there's another BAM. It's two BAMs. Naila. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I don't want to keep you all night. Our time has been well spent. If what you listened to or what you heard tonight was helpful, please feel free to share. Also, again, go back to the website, www.4142.com. I have some old blogs up there. It might be a new one up there with just some great stuff. If you have a number, you can call me. You also have Facebook direct message. And even this may end up on Instagram somewhere. So there's always a way to contact me. But just know that I'm here to serve. And, this is about growth and development. And we want to be better people in 2019. And let's beat this burnout. All right, guys. Peace, love. Hold on, wait. When will you get on again? Thank you, Jana. You're awesome. Next Tuesday, 8 o'clock. This is gonna be a 4-part series, so this is part number 1. So visit me. Thank you, Jana. You're awesome. Visit me again and come hang out with us next Tuesday, same bat time. And we're going to continue talking about how to beat burnout, and there are some other practical things I'd like to share with you. We're going to do one at a time. And so come on back, and not only you, but invite a friend, and also share this video if you think it's going to help someone. All right, love you guys. You have a great evening. Enjoy your dinner. Get your kids ready for in the morning, and don't mind the hand that looks like it's going in my ear. Peace. For 2 words. Well done. 41, 42.